Your money funds the city, but it's not going to the public programs that serve you. Why is that? Each year, the city budget goes through months of preparation to then approve the budget by June 1st for the next fiscal year. Sounds thorough, right? Until you consider that a majority of that time is spent behind closed doors. Currently, your taxpayer dollars are the largest source of LA's budget. So shouldn't the public have a bigger part on how our dollars are being used? Hi, I'm Kenneth Mejia, a certified public accountant running for LA City Controller in 2022. Our city's finances should be more transparent and accessible, starting with how our city budget is created and how much of a say you get in this process. How has this process played out historically? Take last year, for example. In April 2020, LA Mayor Garcetti presented his 2020 to 2021 proposed budget to City Council, proposing that 54% of unrestricted revenues be allocated to the Los Angeles Police Department. That's a total of $3 billion for the LAPD. That didn't go to housing and community investment, transportation, parks and recs, cultural affairs, and emergency management. The process begins in August, when the mayor releases his budget policy and goals to departments. Then in September, the city opens the floor for community input. Now, the problem is that the public is not made aware of this step. So the city departments continue onwards and submit their budget requests mid-November. In December and January, the mayor's office and the city administrative officer begin reviewing the department budget. Then more closed-door budget hearings happen in February and March among city departments, the city administrative officer, and the mayor's budget team. By April 20, the mayor must present a proposed budget to the city council. This would finally be the first time that we, the people, see what has been proposed. There's really only 1 month, May, where the city invites the public to advocate and participate in the creation of the budget. Let the public comments begin 1 month before the mayor's budget becomes official. Within this 1 month, community members and activists advocate for budget changes that reflect the needs of the communities they represent. As we've seen in Garcetti's most recent budget proposal, a majority of the budget is not allocated to the needs of the community, but instead are assumed by departments like the LAPD. A participatory budget process can be implemented by increasing the number of open budgeting sessions per budget cycle and creating real avenues for constituents to give input on how their money should be spent. And actually, we've already seen what a participatory budget process can look like in Los Angeles. Last year, when the People's Budget LA, led by Black Lives Matter LA, fought back against Garcetti's proposed budget, the coalition, which comprises of community organizations, faith leaders, parents, teachers, students, nonprofit leaders, and individuals throughout LA, urged the mayor to reimagine public safety by demanding a city budget that invests in the well-being of our communities with priority on supporting the underserved and marginalized. The coalition began with a survey that was circulated to as much of LA as possible, followed by community town halls to gather personal input from attendees. Then in June, the coalition presented the results of the survey to City Council. In response, City Council came back to the People's Budget LA with several policy proposals as well as a supposed $150 million divestment from the original allocation to LAPD. What can we do? Here are a few ways to get involved now. A participatory process will involve research, surveys, and community town halls. Find your interest within and help. Attend an upcoming Budget Advocates meeting to get a lay of the land and learn how others are working towards a more transparent process. Reach out to your city council member and have them advocate for a participatory budget process since there is very little community input. As controller, I may not have direct input on what goes into the mayor's budget, but I want to make sure our city's financial data is transparent. It's important to educate Angelenos on how the city collects funds and how those funds are allocated and spent. Let's get the city working in our best interests, starting with a more people-friendly budget process.